Breaking news: when the winter of terror hits, Zelenskyy goes to NATO headquarters and begs for weapons. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy has requested additional weapons and air defenses from NATO members in order to counter Russian aggression. As Ukraine prepares for another warlike winter and Russian attacks on power stations and other infrastructure, President Volodymyr Zelenskyy on Wednesday asked NATO allies for more weapons and air defenses. At a time when turmoil in the U.S. Congress threatens to disrupt aid for Kyiv and the world's attention is drawn to another crisis unfolding in Israel, Zelenskyy made his first visit to NATO headquarters since Russia's invasion last year. Zelenskyy admitted that he was worried that allies might cut military supplies to Ukraine, calling the situation a dangerous situation of uncertainty, but he said he had received the proper reassurances. He also said that Western weapons were essential to put Moscow on the defensive in the conflict, drawing direct parallels between Russian President Vladimir Putin and the Palestinian Islamist group Hamas. You want to know when this war will end and if it will end fairly for Ukraine. The answer lies in your winter air defense, he said. At a meeting of defense ministers from NATO and some 20 other countries that give military aid to Ukraine, he added, "We must win the winter battle against terror and we can win." This meeting was held in a U.S.-led forum called the Ukraine Defense Contact Group. U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin has announced a new $200 million defense package for Ukraine, including air defense munitions and weapons to counter Russian drones, reiterating the West's pledge to support Ukraine for as long as it takes. A group of countries led by the United Kingdom announced assistance with mine clearing, and Germany announced a new winter package worth around €1 billion, $1.1 billion, the day before the meeting. Zelenskyy also succeeded in having Denmark and Belgium commit to providing F-16 fighter jets, with the latter set to arrive in 2025. Secretary-General of NATO Jens Stoltenberg warned that Russia was preparing once again to use winter as a weapon of war in Ukraine by targeting the country's energy infrastructure. The U.S. assures. In an effort to reclaim territory in the south and east, Ukraine launched a counteroffensive over the summer. However, the country has been unable to make significant inroads due to Russia's extensive system of fortifications and minefields. Even though Washington has given Kyiv $44 billion to buy dozens of tanks, thousands of rockets, and millions of rounds of ammunition, public opinion in the United States is shifting away from supporting the move. Austin will also have to persuade allies that the United States can support Ukraine and aid Israel in its fight against Hamas attacks. To avoid diverting military resources from other regions, successive presidents have tried to lessen the United States' attention on the Middle East. My question was, that will your support be less than now? Zelenskyy said. Partners have said, no. But who can say what the future holds? To my knowledge, no one is aware of this. Zelenskyy tried to present the Russian invasion and the Hamas attacks as complementary rather than antagonistic. Terrorists like Putin or like Hamas seek to hold free and democratic nations as hostages and they want power, said Putin. Russia still has enough resources to incite conflicts and turn them into full-scale tragedies, and this is happening in Sahel. And it can happen even more painfully in Israel and in the Middle East. Russia has blamed the West for the conflict in Ukraine and has denied any intention of harming civilians in its special military operation there. Ukraine's claims that Russia is trying to stoke regional tensions are debunked as unfounded. Despite calling for Israel's annihilation, Hamas claims its attack was warranted due to the dire situation in Gaza as a result of the blockade that has been in place for the past 16 years and the deadliest Israeli crackdown in years in the occupied West Bank.